a sense of community when you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me.
Hello, everyone. Well, I'm always surprised at the number of people out there who are multi-talented. Like today's guest, for instance, he is a musician as well as a filmmaker. Here he is, Cadillac Bill. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Nancy. Good to be on your show.
Thank you again for accepting my invitation and also for showing up. I've had a number of no-shows lately, so
Oh, dear.
stuff happens. Yeah. So, what started first, your musical career or the filmmaking?
Filmmaking started first. I went to college, studied animation. I was making films before that, when I was a teenager, and I studied animation. Then I went to UCLA for a year to study film, and I was making music videos and stuff in Toronto, and I ended up living with the Cowboy Junkies as they were starting out. Do you remember the Cowboy Junkies?
Vaguely, yeah.
Well, they became pretty big, and anyway, I was living with them, and I figured, well, they're having a good time with this music thing, and so they let me use their band room whenever they went on tour. So I got my own band going. So then I literally just forgot about film for 30 years. I became a musician. And then I guess about 10 years ago, I sort of kind of decided enough of music and touring. So I started a TV show on cable TV that I did for 6 years. So that's how I got back into filmmaking.
Very good. So what have you produced or is it producing or directing? Or
yeah, producing, editing, filming, hosting. So the TV show, I did 100 episodes of the Cadillac Bill show, it's called. People can find it on YouTube. And we ended up, we did about 100 episodes. We interviewed a lot of well-known people on the show, like Daniel Lanois, Ronnie Hawkins, Gordon Lightfoot, Teenage Head, Robert Gordon. So, some pretty cool people and a lot of eccentric people on the show too. So it was kind of like a bizarre, funny show.
Right.
So that's what I did. And then after 6 years of that, I then got into sort of making music videos again, which I hadn't done in 35 years.
So when you say making music videos, what does that entail?
Coming up with an idea and getting sort of some crazy stuff happening, and not just filming the band on a stage, just actually doing. I mean, the last music video I did was a song called 8-Track Girl, and I got all these tap dancers, and I built this box, an 8-track box, and I had one dancer with her bare legs out. She was dancing, and she was surrounded by tap dancers. So I really like the idea of incorporating dance.
Right.
In that last video, anyway.
It sounds like a lot of fun. How much work goes into making one of those music videos?
Not an awful lot, actually. I'm pretty fast as a filmmaker. I mean, I made one music video for this fella called Tim Gibbons, and the entire shoot was half an hour, including filming him in my basement with a smoke machine, and then driving around Hamilton, filming sights and him on the streets. So it took 10 minutes to film him in my basement, and then another 20 minutes was driving around and having him on the streets of Hamilton, and that's that came out pretty good, actually. But most of the work is done with the editing after.
Yeah, for sure.
Planning things out, like in this case, building the 8-track girl costume.
Now, when you were performing, were you a singer? Did you play an instrument?
Yes, I was the front man of the band. I wrote the songs when I performed, and sang in guitar, rhythm guitar. But my music days, like we would have all of these shenanigans, like we would have these bubble machines and flash pods, and I'd set fire to my amp every show, and we had the glittery curtains and stuff like that. So we were touring about 6 times across Canada, and we did 1,000 shows or so over the decades. And after about 30 years or 25 years doing music, I just got tired of stapling up the glittery curtains for every show. It would take an hour and a half to set up every show. So I figured, well, enough is enough of that.
Right. I hear you have an accent. Where are you from originally?
I'm from England, just south of London, a county called Surrey.
Okay.
I've been here for about 40 years.
So what brought you to Canada?
Oh, my mom and dad, they moved to Canada when I was a boy, and my sisters, and yeah, my dad's company relocated him to Toronto.
Okay.
Which was great.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there's your family, anybody in your family musical, or do they do films, any of that?
Kind of. My sister does computer virtual reality films.
Okay.
Virtual reality, like where you put on a headset.
Oh, yeah.
She builds all this from scratch. So she was a computer programmer for decades. And my dad plays the piano and he sings a bit. But, you know, none of them really write music. I was the first one to kind of write music.
So do you have any new projects coming up?
I'm making a film right now about this possum house. I built a heated possum house. This possum came into my home a few weeks ago. It tried to get into my house, but it ended up in the mudroom all night. I didn't know it was there. The next morning, I see my mudroom all trashed a bit. Things were knocked over. And I find this little possum in the blue bin, and it looked like it was dead. But I could see it was breathing, but it was completely comatose, like cold. So I brought it into the kitchen for a couple of hours, warmed it up, and then I let it go after it was like looking at me, and it was all wide awake and looked kind of happy now. And then for a week after, I started feeling bad about this little fella. So I've been working on this possum house. It's got a heating pad and everything. And I'm making a film about that. You know? I'm editing that film, and the house is now outside, plugged in and everything. Little fella hasn't even set foot in it. It's beautifully warm. It's got food and hay. And it's not
I saw a couple of your posts. That was pretty funny, and I saw your cats looking at it.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, people can go on my Facebook page, Bill Boyd Wilson. Even though I'm Cadillac Bill, it's Bill Boyd Wilson, and they can see all my crazy stuff.
What a great idea, though. It's so cool because, I mean, people don't like the looks of possums for whatever reason, but they're really good creatures, you know.
No,
very
you're
necessary.
absolutely right. They're the most misunderstood animal. People think they're creepy or they're vicious looking, but they're not. They wouldn't hurt anyone. They couldn't hurt anyone. And they're very smart, and their coats aren't designed for the winter.
Oh.
Like stray cats, they grow a separate layer of fur in the winter. Most animals are fine in the winter. Possums get real cold.
So what do they do? Do they hibernate like the way
No, they just sort of try to get into people's houses to warm up.
Oh, I see. Okay.
That's one of my cats.
Oh, yeah.
There he is. That's Julia.
Hey, may as well be part of the interview. What the heck, you know? Nice little cat tree. What was I going to say? I think people kind of do it as like a squirrel and a rat. You know, they're both a rodent, but a squirrel looks prettier than a rat, right?
Correct. That's absolutely right. Possums look like big, ugly rats.
Yeah.
But speaking of rats, I did a few years ago make a spoof of Downton Abbey using stuffed taxidermied rats. all dressed up in Victorian outfits. I built these sets, and I had actors or friends doing the voices. And so if anyone wants to go on YouTube and type in Downton Alley, they'll see all of my films. I did 7 sort of 10-minute films.
Right. I'll get that. I'll get you the correct spelling from you, so I'll include it.
Yeah. Well, Nancy, you can give it a watch after the Downton Alleys. I literally got my 15 minutes of fame from my Downton Alley, because when I released them, I had media, newspapers and radio and CBC were all contacting me. It was the first time in my life they were all contacting me, and I ended up on CBC across Canada. I was on the cover of the Hamilton Spectator in color, and the whole radio stations wanted me on. And in my 30 years in music, I'd been the one always bugging radio stations. Hey, can I come on and talk about my band? And they say, okay. Well, this is the first time in my life they were actually contacting me. All thanks to those stuffed taxidermied rats, I got my 15 minutes of fame.
It's such a weird concept, but fun at the same time, right? I really got to look for it. This is going to be fun to watch for sure. When we're finished this, I'll get you to text me, to message me the correct spelling, because
okay.
I don't always, I have trouble with spelling. Always been an issue.
Me too.
Yeah. Okay. So are you going to do more of that type of thing? Because it sounds like so much fun.
It was fun, but I really retired. I did like 30 years of touring in my band and CDs and music videos for my band, and then I did 10 years of my TV show, and there's a company in Australia that now distributes my TV show called Planet Blue Pictures. Okay. So they're busy trying to get my TV show out there. Sold, hopefully, maybe. But so I'm just, I'm not doing anything more now, except an occasional little project here and there. A band might want to pay me to make a music video, or I might do some crazy little thing about this possum house. But really, I've retired pretty much.
Okay, yeah. I tried to retire. It didn't work.
What's that?
I tried to retire. It didn't work.
Did you? Well, I know it's not really working for me either, because I'll probably find some new thing to do.
Yeah.
As well.
Well, I think it's good for the brain to keep doing things, right? It doesn't matter what it is, really.
Absolutely, yes. What about yourself, Nancy? I've never heard of you.
I'm not famous.
You sent me that message, and it was very nice of you to invite me on your show, and it was great honor. So you live out in Chilliwack, do you?
Yes, I'm in Chilliwack, and I started this about 7 or 8 years ago.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah, it was like after my husband passed, I just needed to do something. I had a cleaning business before that, and then I got arthritis, and cleaning becomes difficult when you have arthritis. So my husband passed away. I took care of him while he was ill, and then I saw an ad on Shaw TV, which is one of our cable producers, not producer, whatever the word is. Anyway, they were looking for volunteers because at that time they had a community access channel.
Yeah, that's what I did my TV show on, community access, Cable 14 Hamilton.
Yeah, for sure. And then they closed because it was governed by the CRTC. CRTC changed the rules, so they shut it down. And I'm like, darn it, I enjoyed doing my show. So then I hooked up with somebody else, and then that didn't work out well. So now I just do my own thing, and it's more fun this way. I can air when I want. I can contact people when I want, where, and what I love when Zoom come in, like when I found out about Zoom, it's like it opened up the world.
So easy, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, by the way, I used to live in Burlington.
Did you? Oh, you're nearby.
Yeah, for a while anyway, for a number of years.
So you've been doing a cable. You've been doing an internet web show podcast for about 6 years, have you?
Pardon?
Have you been doing a podcast for 6 years, did you say?
At least that. Like it used to be
Oh,
called
neat.
Getting to Know You originally when I was with
Yeah.
the internet cable on the community access channel. And
And-
then when that closed, I decided, well, if I'm going to do this, I have to come up with a new name.
Yeah.
So, and
Now it's small talk.
small talk has two meanings. Interviews are short, and so am I.
Yeah. Oh, good, lovely.
Just kind of,
And do you do it every day?
no, it kind of depends. Like today, I just have you to interview. I had one yesterday. Some days I have two, but I try to alternate days.
Mhm.
Because I enjoy doing it, but this is my Zoom room, by the way. It's just a small little
A
room.
little Zoom room, yeah.
Yeah.
And is this live or is this going to end up on YouTube?
It'll be up on YouTube. And once it airs, I will send you the link.
Great.
I put it up on, Twitter and X and LinkedIn as well.
Yep.
All of
Good,
those
okay.
places. So yeah, you'll be able to share it. I don't know if we have any more questions. Those not be supposed to be interviewing me. No.
There's both of those, my cats.
Oh, there you go. I love animals.
Julius and Jimmy. By the way.
Pussycats.
Hey, cats, she's waving at you.
Yeah. Hello there, pussycats. They don't care.
They don't care. They can't see you.
It's so funny because at one time I lived in a duplex and my daughter lived on one side, we lived on the other side, and she had a cat. The cat would come over and visit me and I would feed her and then I would pet her and then she'd just scratch me and go home. And then I got a cat of my own and she never forgave me. She was so totally mean to me after that.
Oh, yeah.
I love animals. I love that. The different personalities.
I've always liked orange tabbies. I've got a group on Facebook I started called Orange Tabbies of Canada.
Very
So,
good.
folks, if you like cats, if you like orange tabbies of Canada, you can join the group.
That's so cool. Very interesting, eh? Well, I'm going to end this here, but don't stay on camera for just a second. So just remind the audience to listen to Cadillac Bill, and I'll be sharing his where you can find him online, all the things that he mentioned that you want to see. I'll get that information for you. That'll be included when I do the rendering. Okay.
Yep.
And thanks everybody. Thanks for watching the show. Take care and peace out.
Bye-bye.
A sense of community, CADILLAC's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. CADILLAC's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. CADILLAC's the place to be, you'll see.